Hi, and welcome to my video on observation summary number 2. So for this paper, you're using the same focus child. So you completed the focus child report, focus student report on this student, this one student. You completed observation summary number 1 on the student. You're completing observation summary number 2 on the same student. So it's the same student. And hopefully, when you're going to your field site, each day you should probably take some notes, spend some time observing the student in the class. Get a feel for the student, what they're doing. Take some time each day that you're there to observe them, note what's happening in their, in their interactions, in their reactions, in their actions, in the environment. So spend each day that you're at your field site, observe this student. Okay, I'm going to share my screen so we can go over the assignment. So this is observation summary number 2, where you are focusing on, it says social emotional identity development. I'll change that. We're actually focusing on cognitive development, cognition, and moral development. So I will change the names to make it clearer. So I embedded the document in the assignment. However, the formatting did not come through very well. So what do I mean I embedded? I copied and pasted the information from the syllabus into Brightspace, and that didn't work so well. So I took the same information and I added it as a link here. So hopefully this will show you a little bit easier how to create and craft your paper. So this is on cognition, cognitive development, and moral development, which is closely linked to cognitive development. So again, there's 3 sections to this paper: your introduction, your observation summary, and your conclusion. You're going to share your teen's name, pseudonym, how old or what grade they're in, describe their physical appearance, especially if it's changed. Their hair might be the same. Their skin, facial features, body type, height, clothing. If this is a culmination of observations, then you just need to pick one description of the students' clothing and things like that. You don't need to describe each of the different days unless there was a day they wore something totally different and out of the ordinary. When did the observation or observations take place? Grade level and subject of the class being observed, the lesson topic and format, and was it a lecture, discussion, group work, lab, etc.? What was happening in the class during the observation? How long was the class? Furnitures and materials. And how was the space and materials equipment positioned? That might be the same as observation summary 1. You can copy it. Where does the student sit? By the board, by the smart board, by the windows, by the door, like where in the room? And who was present? How many other students? Oh, there's a lot of people out that day, so there was only, 12 students. Or everybody was present, so there was, 30 people. Talk about that. And how many other adults are in the room. Then again, you're going to describe the teen's actions, interactions, and reactions using vivid, objective, detailed, non-judgmental language, so the reader can picture what you saw. These are the prompts, and please connect them to sources from EDS 201. So again, sources from our course that we have read. But talk about a time you observe your student learning something new. What happened? What did they do? How does the student approach learning? Which Piagetian stage do you believe the student is currently in? They could be between two. So talk about both. How do you know the Piagetian stage? What does Piaget say about the stage? And how does the student demonstrate the stage they're currently in? So then describe the student's thinking, reasoning, and metacognitive skills. Again, compare this to EDS 201. Okay. Um, does does the student demonstrate abstract or hypothetical thinking? How? How does the student approach problem-solving tasks? Do they have a systematic problem-solving strategy that they can employ independently, or do they need supports to do that? Or do they have another way to solve problems? How does the student manage their attention, organization, and time? Describe that. We're talking about some Piagetian elements. We're talking about executive functioning, right? How does the student plan, monitor, and revise their work, right? What do they do? Explain how the student responds to multi-step directions. And how does the student reflect on their thinking, metacognition? Um, how does the student ask clarifying or higher order questions? Explain. Give me information. How does the student respond to feedback or mistakes? This is some growth mindset, but remember the foundation of growth mindset is that the student needs to have confidence that they can tackle problems. Is the student able to consider multiple viewpoints or strategies? And does the student engage in discussion or collaborative thinking? It's not just talking about, but really thinking about what people said. And then moral development. When was a time that you observed the student encountering a moral or ethical dilemma? Maybe the student broke something or saw someone break something. What do they do? Maybe the student saw something fall out of someone's book bag, something important or valuable. What do they do? Maybe someone did something and everyone's getting in trouble because of it. What does the student do? Describe it and then compare it. How does it relate to Piaget, Gilligan, or Kohlberg and their stages? If they're between stages, talk about both. Then in the conclusion, you're going to talk about the cognitive strengths and emerging skills you noticed. How does the student's thinking reflect characteristics of adolescent cognitive development? Okay. Summarize your insights about the student's moral development. And how does the class environment support or challenge the student's cognitive development and cognition? So there's the rubric to see how you're going to be assessed. And I look forward to reviewing your papers. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Be well.